Coming up, if you were offered the opportunity to extend the expiration date of your contract, would you take it? On this week's episode of the DVC Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the DVC Show, coming to you from the Bob Varley studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined via Skype this week by my good friends from the DVC store, Mr. Jerry Saito.
Hello, everybody. It's good to be here.
That was not Jerry Saito. That was Rob Lindsay.
There he is.
But
Hey, Rob.
from disboards.com, webmaster doc, Rob Lindsay.
Hello.
And from dvcfan.com, Mr. Paul Krieger.
Hey, everyone. What's up?
And just a couple things. First, as I always let you know, if you're interested in purchasing a DVC resale contract, all you need to do, give our friends at DVC Store a call, 1-800-550-6493, or you can visit them online, dvcstore.com, and they can help you with selling your contract, buying a new contract, renting out your points, or renting you points if you want to try DVC before you buy. So dvcstore.com, or call them 1-800-550-6493. Also, forgot to mention this in some of the other shows, we now have a dedicated channel on YouTube for DVC Fan. It's youtube.com/DVC Fan. If you're watching this on the DIS Unplugged channel, we're going to continue to post these shows there as well, but also on the DVC Fan channel. But we are putting up special exclusive content that will only be on the DVC Fan channel. So please head over there and subscribe. Regardless of which channel you're watching this on, we'd appreciate it if you'd hit the subscribe button and then hit that like button. That really helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. It lets YouTube know that you like us, you really like us. All right. So Rob had suggested this topic, and I thought it was a good one. If you were offered the opportunity to extend your current contract beyond its expiration date, would you take it? Now, a couple of properties, namely Old Key West and Boardwalk, among them, expire in 2042. But they had offered a few years back for people at Old Key West to extend that to 2057. And now, Rob, you were around for that. I was not. I was not born yet.
Yeah.
When that was offered. So talk about how that went when they did this previously.
It was announced in fall of 2007. They started having weekly meetings at Old Key West on Wednesdays to explain the program. They took time out during the annual meeting that year, which was at Coronado Springs, to have a box lunch for Old Key West members so that the staff could explain the process to them. Leanne Neiman, who's been on the board for a long time, was one of the attorneys that was explaining it, and they did a thorough job of trying to explain what was happening. Basically, the extent for the property owned by Disney that Old Key West sits on, and they were going to offer it at $25 a point with a discount to start with of down to $15. So for $15 a point, you could pay that now, and then you could in 35 years when the contract expired. There was a lot of discussion on the boards at that time, and periodically we still get good discussion about that on the DIS board, the DVC board, and a lot of people right now that weren't around at that time and are not Old Key West owners would love to have the opportunity to purchase an extension. So we just thought this might be a good topic, but less than a third of the Old Key West members at that time took them up on that. And so there's been no discussion that we're aware of by DVC since to repeat that process for any other resort.
And you did not take the extension, correct?
I did not. I'll be 95 then, and didn't know that was a wise investment for me at that time.
See, now I think had I been an old Key West owner at that point, I think I would have taken it. And I remember, apparently this is now the thing I'm going to do. I'm going to forget to introduce Fiasco because this is the third show in a row we've recorded today. And on each and every show, I forget to introduce. I don't know why I have a mental block with this. But producing our show today, as always, Corey Fiascanaro.
You got to let the people get welcomed home. Welcome home.
So I don't know what it is. I don't know. I apologize, Fiasco.
Okay.
You know I love you.
Yeah.
Mostly. So I don't know. But now let's look beyond Old Key West and Boardwalk at 2042, because you have most of the other resorts expiring well past that. Anybody on the panel right now, if offered at $25 a point to extend your contracts, would you take it?
I own at Copper Creek. So by the time my contract expires, I'm going to be like 77 or something like that. So I wouldn't be enticed to extend a contract like Copper Creek. But when I was originally buying, I was really considering Saratoga, just because of that good bang for your buck value you get when you own at Saratoga, and me not really caring too much about that 11-month window. So if I bought Saratoga, I might be more enticed to extend because it expires sooner.
See, now I own a Boardwalk, which expires in 2042, but I'm going to be pushing 80 when that expires. Well, actually, no, I'll be pushing 60. Go with it. I'll be pushing 80 when that expires, and you know, I'm pretty much losing my memory and my mind now. I can't imagine, you know, I'll be changing my diaper when I'm 80. So I don't know. I don't think I would. The rest of my contracts are all at resorts that expire in, 2054 or 2056, whatever it is. And those I'm not gonna be alive. So, Paul, what about you?
Sort of in Fiasco's boat there. It really, I think, would depend on the resort and whether or not it would be the greatest value for that specific property. I own at Boardwalk, and I think if presented with that offer for Boardwalk, which is one of those 2042 resorts, we would definitely probably add on that extension just to give us more time at Boardwalk. Because that's truly one of our favorite properties. But I think others, some of the more newer resorts and things like that, it would be more of a consideration, because then you're getting into I'm going to be old and rusty by then, so I don't know how much of a value I would have in that additional time.
Gerald?
Yeah, so for I own Boardwalk as well. If I extended, I would be it's going to expire when I'm 67 years old. I'm currently 45. That's right around my retirement age. I'm not sure I want to sign up for additional maintenance fees at that time when I might be looking to use it for something else. But I love Disney, and I would strongly consider an extension. It does depend on how long the extension's for, how much are they charging. But I also own Saratoga Springs, and when that expires, I'll be 79. So I don't think I would extend that. But those original 6 properties that expire in 2042, I'd be tempted. It just there'd have to be some questions answered before I could make a final decision. But right now, I probably wouldn't, even being 67. Probably wouldn't, but we'll just see. What happens.
Another thing that I'd have to consider is like I said, I'm going to be in my 70s when mine expires. I don't have kids yet. And I don't know if I'll have kids, but another thing to think of, do I have kids to deed this to? How much do I love them? And then
wow. He's already asking that question. How much am I going to love my kids? Yeah. Maybe it's a good idea that you don't procreate. I don't know.
If we're saying though that we're saying that $25 per point, for the extension, So if you actually do the math on this, right now, Riviera, 50-year contract, it's basically about $3.90 per point per year. So on an extension of 15 years at $25 a point, you're only spending $1.66 per point per year. So when you actually do the math on it, it sounds a lot more appealing because you're getting a lot more for the money you're spending.
Well,
The issue with the math is that was offered 2007, and Disney's prices went insane from 2007 up till now. So now they're well over, 100. Well, they're at $188 a point. Some of these other resorts are in the 200 plus range, like Boardwalk and Beach Club and so forth. So most likely an extension is going to cost you a lot more than $25 a point if they did offer an extension.
Yeah.
Well, Fiasco mentioning, I don't have kids, and unless something goes horribly wrong, I'm not going to have kids. But, nieces, nephews to deed it to. I'm looking at one of them now. That might be a factor. That might be a factor. I might consider it.
No, it's a good, it's kind of morbid, but like a good hand-me-down when you go.
Here, I'm dead. Here's some Disney points.
Yeah, exactly.
The devil's advocate to that is that most timeshares, they last forever and they never end, and you're tied to a maintenance fee forever, unless you sell it, of course, or just give it back to the resort if they'll take it. Disney, it cuts off. When it expires, you're not tied to those maintenance fees anymore. You're done. I mean, you could still sell it before then, but you're not. Your kids and grandkids aren't inheriting $1,000 plus or whatever maintenance fee that you've left them. Again, that's the devil's advocate part of it. I mean, going to Disney and enjoying those trips is something that's shaped my life. So I love Disney and I want my kids to experience that. But nonetheless, be aware, when it's over, it's over. You don't keep paying any longer.
Well, Jerry, let me ask you this. Since you sell Disney Vacation Club resales, how often would you say people don't choose Old Key West or Boardwalk because the expiration is in 22 years?
Well, again, there's 6 resorts. So it's Boardwalk, Beach Club, Boulder Ridge, Vero Beach, Hilton Head, and Old Key West. But I guess Old Key West has an asterisk because it has the extension for some. But a lot of people at this point, 22 years left, they're still, 21 years left, still buying into those resorts because, a lot of the buyers are, not a lot, but they're within their 40-year-old age bracket, and they don't see that expiration as a problem. But there are some people that do not want to buy a 21-year deed. They want to buy one that's longer, even though they love Beach Club or they love Boardwalk. They want something with more time. So it's hit and miss. Some people don't mind. Other people do prefer a longer time. So just depends on who you talk to.
Yeah, interesting. It didn't bother me. Like I said, I bought it at Boardwalk. It didn't bother me because, again, I'm saying to myself, I love the resort, and by the time it expires, I'm not going to know what my name is. So, what the hell? Might as well just enjoy it. All right. Anything else? Anything else anybody wants to bring up on expiring points? Buying extensions? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? All right. There you have it, folks. That's our discussion this week on would you purchase an extension to your contract? Please tell us what you think in the comments down below. And while you're down there doing that, hit that like button. Okay? It helps us out. That's going to do it for our show for this week. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you again next week with another edition of the DVC Show. Have a great week, folks.